I'm going to begin my 8-minute journey by defining what a tipping point is. A little boy woke at 4:30 in the morning. He was hungry. So off he snuck to the kitchen. Back he came to his bedroom, a slice of cake. Coming and going, tiptoe all the way. We went out for dinner the other night, and at the end of the meal, called the waiter over, "Bill, please." Another tipping point. Yes, I tipped him. Okay. There's many different types of tips and tipping points. So I'm going to take you to a very important event for myself. My tipping point. It occurred early this year, and it was life-changing, this tipping point. There's no one in this room who doesn't understand the expression black dog. And I had black dog big time. But it wasn't the first time. It was one of a series of black dogs. And when you've got depression, invariably, one way or another, you can rise above it. It comes to an end, it concludes, and you get back on track, get back on the horse, and go forward again. Not this time. No way. I was stuck, completely stuck in this black moray of depression. This had never happened before. I'd been there many times, many times, over many years, and always come out of it. This time, this didn't happen. So what to do? I guess eventually I acknowledged that I wasn't going to come out of this thing. My life was not going to change. That I was stuck. And beyond that, there's sort of an acceptance. This is who I am. I am this guy stuck in a hole, and I can't get out, and I can't succeed, and I can't get on with the rest of my life, and I can't live the dreams that I've dreamt about for many decades. Now, what was my tipping point? It was something that came from I don't know where. And what was it? It was acceptance. Finally, I accepted that I'm this guy who gets depressed. I'm this guy who gets into a hole. Doesn't matter what I do, I get into this hole. And this time, I'm not going to get out of it. So what about for the first time in your life, accepting who you are? Come to terms with reality. You know? Well, the story continues that was the tipping point, because from then on, my life turned around. You may not see me differently, but from the inside, I'm a completely new boy. In a sense, I've given up. I'm prepared to fail. I don't think I will in the future, but I think I've got a completely different mindset predicated on what I did when this point got tipped, which was acceptance of myself. Just who I happen to be. That's it. No big deal, nothing to get too excited about. I might say pretty trivial, but for me it was profound. So let me move away from myself to perhaps elaborate on the tipping points that we all know about. Maybe the first one you won't know about. But 9 months before the 7th of February 1941, Germany invaded Poland. The British Prime Minister declared war on Germany, and we followed suit. Now, my father was a young married man. He'd been married for several years. And what do you think he did? He put his hand up for the call-up. What else do you think he did? I guess my mum and dad thought, well, listen, you're going overseas to fight for our country, you might not come back. What about we sow a seed? Well, on the 7th of February 1941, that seed came to life. That was me. Yes. What a tipping point that was. A good one for me. The two tipping points one of which I alluded to just a moment ago, one of them was when England declared war on Germany because they had reached a tipping point with regards to Germany's expansion in Europe. The second, we're all very, very viscerally aware of, is Vladimir Putin saying he was going to simply have troop exercises on the border with the Ukraine, started shelling across the border and invaded. The troops started flying across into the southern part of Ukraine. Was that a tipping point? You betcha. The whole Western world rose to a man and a woman and said, right, we're going to push back on this autocracy, on this invasion, this potential third world war. That's another tipping point. There are many tipping points we have in our lives. And at a personal level, it's often a reaction to something that's happened to us, something we don't accept. And that reaction can be very dangerous. Just look at the figures for domestic violence in our community. Those people have reached a tipping point and they've caused irreparable damage to their family and to their children. So I just want to remind you tonight to be mindful of your reaction to the life around you. Bring a little bit of acceptance into your life. As Johnny Farnham said, may not say again, bring the pressure down. Have a bit of love. Have a bit of acceptance. And if you're going to have a tipping point in your life, do one from